Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Patrick Kirkwood, the CEO of the BioSport, welcoming you here from Calgary. Today's guest needs no introduction. If you're a fan of any kind of hockey game ever recorded in history, let me tell you about this high-performance individual. He's a 5-time Stanley Cup champion, a Vezina Trophy winner. He's a Hall of Famer. He's top 100 ever to lace on a pair of skates. He's a goaltender who helped define an era of greatness with the Edmonton Oilers and other teams. I'm thrilled to welcome number 31, Grant Fuhr, a true legend of the game, to talk about his journey, mindset, and what it really takes to perform at the highest level. Grant, I'd like to welcome you here officially, first of all, to our podcast and to the BioSport family.
Oh, thank you for having me, Patrick.
Yeah. And I guess really the announcement is that Grant Fuhr has joined the BioSport as the honorary chief athletic advisor and also as a member of our advisory board.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited about that. I mean, it's going to give me an opportunity to learn a lot about the physical side of training, the physical side and the DNA side of athletes, which goes way beyond what I played. So I'm excited to learn more about it.
Yeah, it's Grant, I'll tell you a little bit about it, the BioSport, and as you're learning as we go, but the BioSport is a personalized training program. It's AI based, and it talks about you personally, your DNA, what's going on, and we run it through our sequencer, and we come back with some results that help you do a lot of things, and it helps you train better. We're trying to prevent injury. And we'll get into the program. I'll tell you all about it. But in the meantime, I have some questions here that have been submitted that they want me to ask you, and I'm just going to read a couple of them. And here's the first question: as one of the most durable goalies in NHL history, how did you approach training and recovery during your playoff days? And how do you think a program like the BioSport could have impacted your performance?
Well, I'm going to start with the backside of that question. Obviously, when you learn how to train, you learn how to recover. It makes you a much better athlete at the tail end of things. I mean, I've probably learned more 3/4 of the way through my career than I did at the beginning. At the beginning, recovery was you may have went out and had a couple of cold beverages along the way, and you tried to get your sleep and such. But as you get older, the body starts to break down a little bit. You got to learn how your body functions. You got to learn what you have to do with it. And I think that's where BioSport's going to help the modern day athlete. It's going to help them understand their bodies, understand the training and such. We kind of did it by feel, whereas now it's going to be scientifically, the program will basically lay that out for them.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, it really helps to focus on, if you're not predisposed to a particular gene and you're playing in that sport, well, we can train a different way and help you get the results in a little better way. And we can help you to, not overtrain or not undertrain, right? And try and give you a warning when you're about to overtrain, which is really what causes injury. I'm going to get into question number 2 here. If you had access to your full genetic and biome profile in your prime, what areas of your game or training would you have optimized differently?
Well, I think the whole training regime would have been different.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows I wasn't the greatest at training. I listened more to my body than I did anything else. And the mental side of it was more the strong side for me than the training side. But obviously, as I went through my career, you learn more about how to train your body, how to understand your body. And I think that's where BioSport would have helped me, is understanding the body. I mean, I did a reasonably good job of it. But again, at that point in time, it was a guess. So this way, it's not a guess. It's right there for you in black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember talking to you a few times before training, and it was, I think sometimes you had some great summers jumping into training camp, and, there's lots of work to do before you got into game shape. Would that be true?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I used to play baseball instead of training. So the multi-sport version of training, whereas as I got a little older and kind of got overruled when it came to baseball, the training may have lacked a little bit. But once training camp showed up, then it was to do whatever you have to do to get game ready.
Well, listen, and before we get into that, the next question, I'll ask you, maybe some people do or don't know this, but you were recruited in the baseball. Who wanted you to play, or were you offered a contract, or what's the story there?
Now I get invited to a training camp.
Right.
So I played a lot of baseball as a kid. I played baseball up until my fourth year pro of hockey. And Mr. Sather we had a little conversation where he reminded me he wasn't paying me to play baseball. So we had to focus a little harder on the hockey side of it.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was a good way for me to stay in shape in the summers.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And for those of you out there that don't know, Grant and I have known each other for a number of years, and I guess since back in high school. So it's kind of like a bit of a reunion where we're getting back together. We kept in touch a little bit over the years. I moved to California. You went all over the place. Well, I mean, you've done a lot of things.
I've covered a few cities.
Yeah. And we're kind of catching up a little bit here again, but truly, lots of good memories there. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's get into the next question here. How important is personalization in training today, especially for youth and developing athletes trying to reach the next level?
So I think it's extremely important. I mean, if you look at youth sport today, a lot of them are into the 24/7 of training for a specific sport, where back in my time, I always thought that if you're a multiple sport athlete, your body got a better workout, your muscles trained differently in the summer than they did in the winter. Whereas a program like this is going to dictate your body's going to do differently to train for a specific sport. So you don't have to go the multi-sport way. You actually will be able to train in a specific way for a single sport.
Yeah, and you really, I mean, you experienced that as a youth. I think I remember seeing you in the schoolyard, and one day, I don't know, back maybe, were you 15? We were 15, 14, however old, we're young. And I remember you saying, "Hey, I'm moving," and that's when you went to Victoria. How old were you when you went to Victoria?
Yeah, I left home at 15 to go play junior hockey. So early time to learn how to live on your own. I was pretty lucky. I had a great host family, but again, you're learning to function on your own, function by yourself. And at that time, hockey was pretty much my world. So we made the full commitment to it, and it worked out okay.
Well, yeah, and back then, I'm sure the body was a little different too, right?
Well, the body was good back then. I mean, I think that was the other thing is I played football, I played baseball, I played hockey, usually all three at the same time. So the body was in pretty good shape at that time. And you know what? As you get older, the body breaks down and you have to learn to function with it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is as you get older, you got to learn to train differently and better, and that's exactly what our program is designed to do, right? From the the youth or the young athlete or enthusiast, all the way up to I guess where we're at, we still the program for us and for me is I mean it's amazing what it can do for you. I'm going to move on to the next question, Grant. What's one mistake you often saw athletes make in recovery or training? And how can tools like the BioSport help prevent that?
Well, I think hockey-wise, the biggest mistake some guys make is you come back too early. I mean, your natural instinct as an athlete is you want to play right away. And when I first started, you wanted to come back right away just because if you didn't, somebody else would step in and take your job. So a lot of times guys played hurt when they probably shouldn't have. Whereas now with the athletic trainers, the science behind BioSport, the science in training in general, guys come back at the right time. They come back when their body's ready, not so much when they're mentally ready, because the mind can fool the body. And that's the biggest thing is your mind can fool your body into saying, okay, I'm fine, I can play. You're not at 100%, but you work your way around it. Whereas now with this, you're not able to fool the body. The body will tell you exactly when you're ready.
No, I agree with you. I was actually, I was talking with Nick Lewis, another fella Hall of Famer yesterday, and we were talking about that. We were talking about really a similar question to that. And I asked him, I said, what do you think the biggest mistake is? And he says, many of the guys, the football players, they come to camp and it's all out right away. And that's when a lot of the injuries start because they haven't trained properly and they're exerting too hard in the beginning instead of, getting themselves ready to, there's a lot of, I guess, tears and that sort of, injury that happened right away in the beginning of the season. Is that your experience too?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I think if I'd have had the knowledge training wise, it probably would have saved me a few surgeries.
Yeah.
So,
How many,
That and a little less stubborn of mind, we'd have been okay.
yeah, how many surgeries is it?
What am I up to now? I think I've got 23 or 24. So
Oh,
I've got my collection.
yeah. Wow, wow. You're looking pretty good shape though. You still golfing and
I still play golf. If I could, I'd play 7 days a week, but I try and keep it to 3 or 4. It's
yeah.
both knees have been replaced. I've got a shoulder that's been replaced.
Wow, wow. Like
Well,
the
I'm
man.
getting younger by body part.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, well, hey, you look good, and it sounds like you're still competing fairly well out there. That's good to hear. One more question here. As someone who faced physical and mental demands at the highest level, how critical is the connection between biology, mindset, and performance?
Well, I think it all ties in together. I think that's the biggest thing is the mind is probably the strongest muscle in your body.
Hmm.
So if your mind can wrap its head around the physical training side of it, your body benefits. So I think the more that you can learn about the different programs, how it affects your body, when that gets set into your mind, your body's going to be the big benefactor of it. Your careers are going to extend and you're going to become a better athlete.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's for athletes, and I think it's anything in life. It's that the mind is a big factor, and that's one of the things with our companies. We work on different avenues on how to better the mind and the vision of what's going on. But no, that's good to hear exactly what we already believe. So another question for you is this: is throughout your career you had many successes and I mean, really, there's not many people that even, get to hold that Stanley Cup, let alone become a Hall of Famer. The other thing I really didn't mention is you were voted the top 100 all-time hockey players, I guess, all time. What is that specifically? What that award was? Maybe you can rephrase that better for me.
No, actually put it in a pretty good term. It's the top 100 to ever play the game. So kind of a neat honor, something I never expected.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I can tell you from a fan and sort of a friend standpoint, couldn't be more proud of what you've done over your career, and I think we have a lot of friends from way back. They all feel the same thing, and a shout out to everybody out there. It's just it's really good to to know somebody that's really done as well as you've done, and to have that pride that we all do. I have a question for you, and before getting reacquainted and talking, I spent a little bit of time looking at some video and just trying to remember back, back in the day and all those things. And I'm sure some of those are, just amazing moments. But one of the things that stands out for me is you. When the flag was raised, and I'm not sure if that was the Hall of Fame ceremony, and there was tears in your eyes, and but you told me a little known secret that you said you would share about your speech. What happened there?
Oh, the Hall of Fame induction. Yeah, I'd written a speech out and such and had given it to my son to hang on to and then forgot to get it back from him. So I went to make my speech without a speech, and you've got a camera sitting right in front of your face and a few million people watching. So
Yeah, yeah,
when a panic sets in, you have to speak from the heart.
yeah. Listen, I mean, I did watch, and you did an amazing job, and I think for many out there, there was as you had tears in your eyes, there was tears of pride from all of us too. So congratulations on that huge accompliment. I want to ask you another question to all the young folks out there. And I remember back, riding in your car with you one day when I think you're, I don't know, maybe in year two. I don't remember exactly when, but the whole back seat was full of mail, and I said I didn't know what was going on, and I said, Grant, what's that? And you said,
Well, I probably said it was fan mail.
yeah, yeah, and then I think the other thing was, yeah, it's that's Tuesday. I answer all the fan mail. Then you said go ahead and open one, and I opened it. And it was from a young kid, and it was the most touching, story. And I just you've experienced that all your life, and now maybe here's a little moment. What can we say to all of the young kids out there, all of the sports enthusiast people that they want to pursue the dream, and get to, maybe even close to where you got to. What advice could you give them, number one, on, how to best align their career or their journey, and about the, from what now about the training, and do you think BioSport, knowing all this in the beginning before you start your career is going to help? Maybe can you speak to that a little bit?
You know what? BioSport will definitely help. But I think to the young kids, even the young kids I help now, I tell them to follow their dream. I mean, it's your dream. It's something that you want to do. So you have to believe in it 100%. I mean, if you let the outside influences start to dictate how you think about your dream, it doesn't become your dream anymore. So I think a lot of the kids get caught up in the parents' dreams, that sort of thing, or the parents get caught up in the kids' dreams. So I try and teach the kids that you have to believe in yourself. And once you believe in yourself, it creates confidence. And then from there, you progress into learning how to think about the game, learning how to train for the game, and basically building a foundation that way. And if your parents are following that dream, I think they'll be able to look at the BioSport and look at the programs that they create. And from there, you've got yourself a good foundation to basically build a good athlete and see how far you can go.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And thanks for taking the time to answer that question. And the youth is really, as we get older, it becomes, and you've got kids, I've got a kid, and it's so important to pass that advice that you just gave along. It doesn't matter what you're doing; you just really got to believe in it. And if you really want to accomplish something, you can do it. And I think we're talking to you, and that's proof about that. Let's catch up a little bit about what you're doing right now, and what your goal over the next couple of years are. Aside from, and we can speak a little bit, I guess, a little bit about the excitement about the BioSport coming in, and I'm glad to have you as a part of that team. But tell us what you're doing right now.
So right now, I'm actually a broadcaster for the Coachella Valley Firebirds, where I do color, pregame show, intermissions, postgame shows. So I'm still in the hockey world, but at the same time, summertime rolls around, I still try and play a little bit of competitive golf. So the competitive drive hasn't left. I'm still sort of an athlete. And the great part of working with BioSport is maybe I'll become a little better an athlete again. So, but no, I try and stay in the athletic world. I have a couple of kids that I help out, some in hockey, some in golf. So I'm still tied up in the athletic world.
Yeah. Are you not also coaching is it the ice, or what's it?
Yeah, 3-ice. I'm going back to coaching 3-on-3 here in a couple of weeks. I'll do that for 5 weeks this summer as well, sprinkled in there. So I'll be living on an airplane for about 7 or 8 weeks this summer.
Wow. And then do we throw in a little celebrity golf tournament too, or how does that work?
Oh no, I've still got my full schedule of celebrity golf, so I haven't lost the competitive drive yet. I think that's the biggest thing as an athlete. You never lose that part of it.
Yeah.
So now we're just figuring out ways to keep the body functional so that I can still be competitive, and I still enjoy competing. And golf for me at this age is probably the easiest thing to be competitive at.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's amazing. Is it is it like a circuit, the Celebrity Golf Tour, or what's?
It's a little bit of a circuit. It's mostly friends that have different celebrity events, and a lot of us are all ex-athletes from the different sports. And I think the biggest thing is we're all still competitive.
Yeah.
And everybody has that competitive drive. So of course we're all looking for an advantage over each other, and we love to get together. We love to compete. And you put the 4 major sports together, and it's funny how guys all want to grind just a little bit harder.
Yeah. Hey, listen, a couple things. First of all, I want you to, before we end, I want you to talk a little bit about your golf tournament. And the other thing I was really kind of wondering, I wonder if you still hold a bunch of records on the athletic track and field way back from high school in Drayton Valley. Have you ever looked in to see if? I'm sure you do.
You know what? I don't even know. That's the funny part. I haven't looked at that in years.
Well, I know.
I had some for a few years.
Yeah, well, I know they were there for many, many years, so I'd be interested to find out. But tell us a little bit about your golf tournament, what it's all about, and the charity that you best want to represent or do represent, I guess would be a better statement.
Yeah, so my wife and I started the Grant Fuhr Foundation, and each year we have a golf tournament to raise as much money as we can for local charities here in the Valley. I mean, it's funny, you moved to California, moved back to Alberta. I'm now in California, so. But no, this year we're actually partnering with the hockey team here for our golf tournament to try and raise a bunch of money that we can basically hand out money to the less fortunate than us here in the Valley and make the Valley a better place. Yeah. So we've been pretty fortunate to have some great partners, some great businesses here in town, some friendships that I've made over time, and we get 40 or 50 athletes that come in to support us and have a great dinner the night before, golf the next day, and then I have a little skins game for the celebrities on the following day after that. So it's a pretty good weekend, and we're pretty fortunate that we're able to raise a bunch of money for the charities here, and it's a matter of leaving a legacy.
Yeah, wow. Hey, let me ask you another question, and maybe we'll end on this one or maybe the next question. But out of all the people that you've met in your lifetime, who would stand out the most to you, and maybe given you the most influence, and celebrity or otherwise, right? Like who's affected you the most in your life?
Yeah, probably my parents more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was raised properly where you appreciate what you've got, you appreciate what you get, and you get what you work for.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty fortunate that way. As for being in the athletic world, I'm pretty lucky to have some great friends.
Yeah.
And obviously, some guy that wore 99 is a really good friend, so that doesn't hurt.
99. What's that guy's name again? Wayne.
Yeah, that Wayne guy.
Yeah, the Wayne guy, Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, that must be an incredible friendship. And you still in touch with Mark Messier?
I am. All the guys in the 80s, I'm still pretty good friends with. I've been pretty fortunate to be good friends with a lot of the big names from the different sports. I just got back from Bo Jackson's golf tournament. So, hey, you know what? It's for a guy that grew up in Spruce Grove, I'm pretty spoiled.
The town's pretty proud of you. I mean, for those of you out there that don't know, I think there's an arena named after what's that guy's name?
Yeah, the Grant Fuhr Arena.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's what it is. I worked there scrubbing floors and cleaning toilets and played there a lot. So I pretty much know the building inside and out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're pretty good pals with the mayor there for a while, right?
Good friends with the mayor.
Yeah.
Actually, Ken Scott, when he was mayor, was one of my old coaches. So
is Ken Scott the guy that had the fish place?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Doc, let's mention it. Doherty's Fish and Chips. Who hasn't had that? That's some of the best fish. I don't think that it's still around, but anyway. Yeah, I remember him very well. I didn't know that was your coach too. Anyway,
yeah, he was a coach for a while, so we were pretty fortunate. A lot of good friends still at home. I mean, I still see the Rimmers a bunch, and the last time I was in the city, ran into a bunch of old guys like Brian Berline, Gary Gamble, all guys I went to school with, and I feel pretty fortunate to still have a lot of the guys I went to high school with as friends.
Well, that's it. That's great. That's really that's really who you are, anyways. I haven't talked to you in a while, and you're exactly the same. Very humble, very accommodating. Nice, genuine person that you always were, right? And I mean, I'm not just saying that. That just really is the truth. You know what I mean? I think I told you I was just in Abu Dhabi where we launched the Kirkwood Wealth Partners, and then we spoke about the BioSport for a while, and bumped into our good friends Byron and Brad Calahoo, in Abu Dhabi, and lived in, I call it the Sky apartment. But anyways, just hello, big shout out to all our friends, and Grant. I really look forward to the upcoming weeks, months, days. Your involvement, advice on where we can go with the BioSport. And there's a lot of things that you don't know about technology wise that we're doing, and you're absolutely going to be. It's an amazing platform. And you made a comment about where's your BioSport water bottle coming. We're working on some apparel, and it's really exciting times, and I couldn't be more happy to have you come and join with us, and it's going to be an incredible journey. And thanks for being a part of the BioSport, and let's make this happen.
No, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. And I'm excited. I mean, what I've learned so far is more than I learned in the 20 years of playing hockey. So I'm excited about learning a lot more and getting more of an understanding of it.
Well, listen, wait until you meet the doctors, the research scientists, the people that we have surrounding us here. It's incredible. I know you're coming out here, maybe in August sometime. Look forward to that. We'll bring you in, get you to meet the team. But just some last words for all the folks out there before we go, and maybe maybe when you're in here next time, we'll have another quick conversation and a part 2 or something like that. But any last words, so to speak?
Yeah, most definitely. I think everybody's going to be excited about BioSport. They should definitely take a look into it, and you'll be as impressed as I am. I mean, I've been in the athletic world for, what am I now, a little over 60, so probably 55 years I've been in the athletic world. So I'm extremely impressed by it. I know others will be.
Well, that's amazing. I'm not going to say exactly how old I am, but I'm younger than you. Anyway, listen, not by much. Anyway, listen, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to join us and talk about your life and what's going on. And let's continue this. Have an absolutely amazing next few days. And I guess actually, happy July the 4th. You probably celebrating that there too.
Yeah, my wife's an American, so we celebrate the 4th, but we had a good Canada Day the other day. I hope everybody had a great Canada Day. And
yeah, thanks.
Always